life in the fast lane. Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Flash Season 2, Episode 12, episode review, titled Fast Lane. With me today is Jacob Desautel, because my name is Joey Lacasse.
What's going on, guys? I'm ready to talk about The Flash.
Zoom zoom.
Zoom zoom.
Yeah. No, shush. Alright, Jacob, bring us into the episode.
Okay, so it starts off with a flashback.
Ha!
So the night of the particle accelerator explosion.
Oh, big surprise, right?
You see these guys, because everything stems from that. But we see
everything that's ever been in the show is because of the particle accelerator.
Every single metal.
That's it. Even Flash.
Yeah.
Or even, even Zoom.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up?
You see these guys, these mobsters, holding this guy up above a tar pit, and they're gonna drop him in. They're like, tell us what you need to know and we'll let you go. So he does, then they just drop him anyway.
Ah, never mind, and they bury him in tar.
Yeah, and then the particle accelerator explodes.
Oh, big surprise, because it's right before the particle accelerator explosion. The tar pit gives him powers and stuff,
but,
which we'll talk about that later. Ugh, okay, so back in the present, they're doing construction on the site. It was a construction site, but because of the particle accelerator explosion, they had to delay the project. So they finally resumed it, and they're digging and they're moving stuff. Guess who comes out of the tar pit? The guy who was dead.
And then it goes back. Then we see Barry, running, and he's talking about running
speed
and time and all that, like usual. And
I'm
then
fast.
And then we go into Joe, Iris, and Wally are all having dinner together, and then Wally explains that he's all about the speed. Pretty much leading up to him becoming Kid Flash.
And 100% leading him up to Kid Flash. Because he's going to find out that Barry's the Flash, and how he runs super fast, and he's like, oh, I want to go that fast because I can't drag race anymore because of things that happen later in this episode, so I'm going to duplicate the experiment, and oh, I got super speed. And
then he talks about how traveling to space is the fastest a human can go, and then he also talks about these jets that are super fast. And then Joe's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I support you, man. And then Iris is like, you're wrong. Yeah, don't go fast. Shut up. You're gonna die. I'm gonna smack you. Yeah. And then he leaves. He goes, thanks for the hang. And yeah. And Iris is like, Joe, you gotta be his dad. Yeah, you can't. Don't do this. You can't be his friend. He's not your friend. He's your son. Get it together, man. Yeah, that's basically what she said. Yeah. So then we go into Star Labs, where Wells is working on the device that's going to steal Barry's speed for Zoom, because Wells wants to save his daughter, and he's just talking completely out loud. Yeah. Which clearly, by this show, we have learned that anyone can get into Star Labs at any moment, at any time. So he shouldn't be just talking about it. Yeah. And then, because, Barry might walk in and say, hey, what are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, to steal my speed? No. Guess who walks in? It's Barry, but coincidence, Wells just finishes talking out loud at that last second. So yeah. But I thought he was recording something, but didn't even show a phone or anything. No, he was. There was a little camera or something. Okay, well, still, he shouldn't have been talking out loud. Or it was his watch, I think, because Earth 2 is way better than Earth 1. Apparently. Yeah, and then, I mean, they got apes that have a civilization, but they have better technology. And then Wells decides to, Barry wants to help Wells what he's working on, and he's like, no man, go away, I don't want your help, because he's gonna betray him eventually, so he doesn't want Barry to be around him. Yes. And I thought Jacob thought that he was still working on the thing to steal Flash's speed, which he had just finished. Yeah. But Barry comes in and he's like, because guess what they've been trying to do for the past 18 episodes? Yeah. 12 episodes. They're trying to close the portals. Yeah. So Barry's like, let's work on that. Yeah. I will help you work on that so we can close the portals. And Wells is like, I'm working on it, but I work better by myself. I don't need help. I don't want help. I'm better working as a solo act. And then he finally talks Wells into letting him because he's a speed reader. He just picks up this book and he just goes, and that's actually right out of the comics. There's this one comic where he saves his people out of a burning building, and where are we gonna live now? So he reads all these books in 2 seconds and rebuilds his entire building just from the information I learned. Because he has he can like remember things for like a half hour, and then he forgets them when he speed reads.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and then Wells wants to slap him because it's annoying, because you just hear the paper sound. Yeah. So, so then, guess who shows up at Wally's next drag race? It's Iris!
Yep. And she's all dressed up to fit in there, because, you know, she's being a journalist. I like that they're actually showing that, but...
Oh, the funniest part from this scene was that people were like, ooh, look at that girl! And then Wally's like, nice, that's my sister.
Are you trying to send me to therapy? It's what he said.
Yeah.
But then, and
she's like, I'm just trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Picture of the guy running the place.
Yeah.
So that she can incriminate him.
Yeah, and then, the guy from the tar shows up at this place.
What a surprise! Because guess what? The guys that are running the drag races are the guys that killed the one guy.
So he like just like pops up, like he can like liquefy himself and then pop up in solid form. Then he kills the guy
with really bad special effects.
Really bad. And it gets even worse as the episode goes on. Luckily, he's not in the episode that much. But then they actually show Barry doing forensic work for once. Because, you know, they've done that like twice this entire season so far.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, Joe was looking at the guy. Then Barry shows up, and then Barry's like, yeah, this was probably a metahuman. Why didn't Joe figure it out? Because it's like, oh, he has burns from a tar pit, but he died from suffocation.
And there's no tar pits around here.
Yeah, and there's no tar pits around here.
Yeah, so Joe could have just looked. He probably didn't want to look at it because it was too gross. But then Barry was like...
Yeah, it was.
And everybody's like, yeah, it's pretty gross. And
it's meta. And then Cisco makes meta-human Tinder.
Yeah, he makes this app that it like puts together all the social media stuff they're talking about meta-human, so it alerts him when there's meta-human activity.
So when somebody posts about something weird happening, having to do anything with a meta-human, it alerts Cisco so that they know where to go.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then Barry's like, what's just stopping the metahumans when posting on there? And he's like, oh god, I should create metahuman Tinder. I'm not going to that fetish.
Yeah.
and then while they're talking about it, Wells puts the thing that's going to steal Barry's speed on his suit underneath his.
While they're walking into the room, and Wells is like, they're coming, and they're still coming. He's like, they're coming. They're almost here. Hey guys.
Yeah. And then Iris shows Joe this.
Like a bunch of different
street races that have died.
Like a bunch of different information on people that have died, either directly from or involving street races.
And then she's like, you can't let Wally keep doing this because he's gonna die. You have to be his dad. They're just leading up to this whole thing about him being his dad.
Finally, actually learning how to be a father to Wally because he just met Wally. But Wally's trying to get him to like him more than disciplining him and stuff. Yeah. So, oh hey. Caitlin's in this episode. She just kind of walks in and is like, hey.
Like 15 minutes into the episode, guess what, I'm here.
And then she's like, that's right. And then I don't think we see her for the rest of the episode. she just disappears.
I think she's just there sitting behind the desk. She doesn't have any lines in the rest of the episode or anything. But then Cisco calls them at a tar pit because, you know, it makes sense.
Because he was in a tar pit. Oh.
And he has tar
I mean, it's a good nickname. It's a good nickname. Don't get me wrong. But... it's kind of just naming him exactly what happened.
Yeah, they're just trying to stick with, you know, the comic book names, so they just have to be like, yeah, he's just gonna call him Tar Pit.
It's better than the Streak.
Yeah. So, and then he has his metahuman Appler goes off, and it's Duel of the Fates from Star Wars Episode 1. Da, da, da. And then he's like, oh yeah, it's my little.
He's like, oh, that's me. Out of Tinder.
Then Barry confronts Tar Pit.
And while he's running around, Wells, the device is slowly draining away his speed.
Yes.
And transferring it to Wells so that Wells can give it to Zoom in like a little pill bottle thing.
Yeah.
That makes Zoom go, oh, which was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's basically kind of like the drug speed.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it is speed. But then,
So then Barry goes, he runs in front, he's like, I gotta take him out. And they're like, is there any water there? And Barry sees a fire hydrant. So he runs in front of the fire hydrant and goes, hey, you can't hit me. He's like, oh, and he throws stuff, or like whatever, or like he punches at him, or he throws
it's like a
molten tar.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
And then surprise, Barry moves, and there's a fire hydrant there. So he hits the fire hydrant, So doesn't Barry like pick up the fire hydrant and point it at him or something?
It just like went all over the place. And
and it hit him.
And then he turned into liquid. Water can take him out, so he's basically like the aliens from Signs. If you've ever seen that movie.
But why did he fall for that?
Because he's an idiot, and he just came out of the tar.
He was there before Barry got there, and Barry's like, "Oh, fire hydrant! Let me trick him by making him attack me, then moving out of the way, so he defeats himself."
Maybe he doesn't know,
the
extent of his powers and his weaknesses because he was in the tar for like 2 years.
That's true. That is true. I did forget that.
But he's also just a horrible villain at the same time.
Yeah. So then they're like, "Oh, how do we find this out?" And Cisco's like, "I got you. Guess who's the best hacker in the world, people?"
Felicity Smoke.
And he's like, "You don't say that."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, that's not what you're supposed to do."
We're not big fans of Arrow, but I like when they give little references to that show. And then Cisco observes Barry.
Barry, you usually go like 1,500 miles an hour, but you're only going 1,450.
Yeah.
What's up, bruh? And Barry's like, "I don't know, I'm tired." But he doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
Because his cells are amazing.
Yeah.
So we're like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Oh, it's nothing. I was hungry or something." Which that part actually makes sense because they say they had to make him like special food to keep him going.
Yeah, and remember in I think I can't remember if it was in like the first episode. He put like little pouches in his suit or like, little snacks and stuff. I like that because he can have like
a little snack pouch.
Yeah, you just eat while running.
The snack that's mine. Go fish. All right. So then Iris goes to confront the guy that's in charge of the drag races that she took the picture of, and she's like, "I took a picture of you. I'm gonna report you." And he's like, "Well, you can't report me if you die because I will kill you." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I've been recording this whole thing.
And it's been sending to CCPN.
And it's been sending to CCPN." And he's like,
"Get out." Yeah, and then
go.
I actually like that they actually show her, being a reporter, even though she not really have that much experience. She just.
But she doesn't really. Well, we don't really show her doing a lot besides going somewhere, seeing the Flash, and writing about it.
Yeah.
But she's actually doing like research and delving into the topic to do a good report, which is awesome. And then Wells and Barry, they closed one of the breaches. Like they figured out the bomb thing and they threw it and it closed one of the breaches and they're like, "Yeah, 51 to go," and they're driving back and they're having like a super heartfelt moment. And Wells is about to tell him, or no, wait, no, this is before.
I think you skipped ahead a little bit.
I skipped ahead a little bit. All right.
Before that,
so he's like, "Dude, Zoom's gonna tell me, like he already did, to choose my daughter over you, like he already did, and I'm going to choose my daughter over you, like I already did." Yeah. And Barry's like, "Shut up.
It doesn't have to be a choice, man." And then
come on, man.
Then he gets him to. Then he finally gets him to help, like stop Barry from helping him with his work because he like kicks him out. He's like, "Get out, man." And he's like, "Okay." And then
go.
And then they create the grenade to destroy the
grenade.
Breaches.
Boom.
And then
so they close the grenade and then they're talking, and it's like a really like heartfelt moment where Barry's like, "I really liked working with you. We do awesome together." And then Wells is like, "You're right. I gotta be honest with him. I have to tell him that I gave some of his speed to Zoom."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hold on, my phone's ringing. What? Metahuman? Okay." And then he puts Wells in the driver's seat of the car, and then he runs away, and Wells is like, "Oh no."
And the events leading up to that were Joe and Iris were at the race that Wally was racing at, and then Tar Pit shows up and he puts tar all over the racetrack.
However, will they stop him?
Yeah, he flips Wally's car, Flash runs in, grabs him, and then
gets Wally out of the car while the car's flipping, and then he's running because the car's miraculously going towards Iris, and Iris is the only one that didn't run away.
Yeah. For some reason.
And it's going towards her, and he's running and he's trying to get her out of the way, and then I think the car like kind of stops or slows down or hits something.
It crashes into the ground, and there's a piece of glass flying at Iris.
It's flying, and Barry's trying to reach the piece of glass, but glass, not grass, because grass is not deadly, depending where you're from. So he's trying to get it, but Wells has been stealing his speed, so he's slowly getting slower and slower, so he's not fast enough to get the piece of glass, and the piece of glass goes into Iris's shoulder, and she's like...
Yeah, and even
falls back in slow motion.
Yeah, but then it turns out she was fine.
It was just like a little bit of blood in the shoulder. It didn't hit her core area.
It looked like it actually like hit her in the heart, but then it actually just like hit her in the shoulder. But even though she was completely fine. That was actually like, a really well done dramatic scene of him like trying to reach the glass before it hit her. But it didn't have any emotional impact after. But also before that, that was when Wells gave Barry's speed to Zoom. They did the.
They had already done that. He's like, oh. He's like, speed. Oh, I love it. And then I need more.
And then he was like, I'll give you more if you give me back my daughter. And he's like, you're not into a position to negotiate. And he grabs him by his shoulder and he like shakes him. And then he's like,
weird. Okay, so we're in the hospital and Wally's there and Joe's like, Wally, I need to be your dad. Get it together. Stay in there with your sister. I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
Because Wally was like, I'm going to go. Like, you guys don't need me here. I suck. And he's like, shut up.
Yeah. He's like,
shut up.
He's like, I'm actually start acting like your dad now, and you have to start acting like my son. So go in there and be with your sister. It was the whole thing that all the conversations before this were leading up to him actually treating him like a son. And
then Wells, it's a heartfelt confession to Cisco, Caitlin, and Barry, how Wells was stealing his speed and giving it to Zoom, and he feels really bad about it, he's going to help. But then Joe walks in at the 1 second. Was it Joe? Yeah. Or wasn't it just Barry? And then everybody else walked in?
I think everybody else walked in, then Joe.
Yeah. And then he walked in the 1 second when Wells was saying exactly, he's like, I stole your speed and gave it to Zoom. And Joe's like, I don't need to hear anything else. And just decks him. And just beats him down and beats him up and then throws him back in the jail cell.
Yeah. And then he's like, why'd you throw him in there? He's like, I would have killed him if I didn't.
Yeah.
And then
which is good, because we're not about killing people anymore, apparently. Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they finally decide to take out Tar Pit with these grenades, the nitrous grenades that Wells created for them. And
turns him into Clayface, pretty much.
Yeah, because he turns himself into this weird, like, molten tar monster, and
with really bad special effects.
Yes, really bad special effects, and it looked exactly like Clayface.
Yeah, well, they threw the grenade at him, and it cooled him down and solidified him, so that he wasn't like the molten tar.
Yeah, and then
like watery and stuff. Yeah. He was actually like a whole. It was like they molded him into Clayface.
Yeah, it did that, and then it just broke apart, and then and then Joe punches him in the face because he likes punching people.
Yes, I know he really does.
And then Wally explains that he likes going fast. He's sitting with Irish at the hospital bed, and because it reminds him of the car rides I took with his mom when he was younger.
Because it seemed like they were going so fast on the road because he was so young. And that's why he drag races and stuff, which he's not going to do anymore because he's going to be running.
Yes.
And he's going to win all the drag races without even a car. They're all just going to be laughing at him, and then he'll just beat them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what?
And then Barry's like, you know, guys, what would we would have done if it was our daughters, or you know, Joe, what if it was ours?
You know, like, don't just say you're evil.
Yeah.
You did a bad thing. Shut up. He did it for a reason that was really good to him.
Yeah, and he told us. He could have just not told us and given all my speed to Zoom.
Yeah. So they decided to let Wells out, and they started talking about how they were going to do it, and they're like, with the episode closer, which is a really good closer. I think the last thing they said was they're like, "We're going to Earth 2."
Yeah, and the next 2 episodes are called "Welcome to Earth 2" and "Escape from Earth 2." So I'm really excited. And I think in one of those 2 episodes we're going to see Grodd. Yes,
Grodd's going to come back because Grodd's on Earth 2 with the apes and stuff.
And there's some other people. There's some other people on Earth 2 too that we're going to get introduced to. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, I am looking forward to the next episode.
Yes.
So, wrapping up for today, I am Joey Lacasse.
Jacob Desautel.
And have a nice day.